Welcome back, everybody, to TB Sports 27. It is another overtime. This is season 21, week 1, but this Utah team, we had a bunch of overtimes in season 20. We're kicking off this season. I can't even explain what's gone on to this game to make it 21-21. Basically, you got to go into the archives, Patreon and YouTube. You got to look and see how we got to this point. One of the craziest games we've had in this season just started. Maybe our toughest test of the season. Number 2, number 1, number 2, number 8. I'm flustered. We should be number 1. Number 2 versus number 8. 21 unanswered for Nebraska. 21 unanswered for Utah. We are getting the ball first in this first overtime period in the Cowboy Classic. Here we go. From here on out, 36-game winning streak on the line in this one. Looking to tie Yale of the 1800s. And Bill Bradford, somehow, nothing there. Getting a big chunk of yards here. 6 yards. It has been a rough game for Andrew Cross, but he's also been the hero on a couple of game-winning drives. In OT, Cowboy Classic, looking for our 37th consecutive win here in overtime. Cross will throw it, and he will get rid of it, and I don't know how that man put his hand up with his back to the ball. He's got eyes in the back of his head or something. So 3rd and 4 for the Utah Utes. In field goal range, though. But you know how overtime works. So Cross on 3rd down, man in motion. They will throw it. Newton cannot turn the corner. And it's 4th and 2. So I think you go ahead and take the points and try to play on defense here. Richardson boots it through, so we take the lead. And it's going to be up to what our defense can do against this Nebraska offense. We have Temple of Conference USA Northeast knocking off Houston of the Big 12. We have SMU surviving East Carolina. SMU of Conference USA South, I think is what we're calling them. Don't know what I'm talking about? Check out patreon.com/tvsports27. So it's basically down to this. Got to hold them to a field goal. Got to play for double overtime here. Or get a turnover. Turnover would also win it for the Utah Utes. Draw play, or not a draw play, a screen, and it's a 5-yard loss. Get some more of those. That would knock them out of field goal range. Utah on offense, ran the ball, an incompletion, and then a completion. Now Nebraska's got it. They got 2 more shots at this. Blitz coming, Marshall, another screen, so they're going to go back-to-back screens. And it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers here. These are former Big 12 rivals. Nebraska leaving the Big 12 for the Big 10 conference realignment. Hit the virtual world of college football hard, just like it did in real life. And a 3rd consecutive screen. 3 consecutive screens in a row. So it's going to be 4th down. Is this going to be a long field goal? It is. This is not a guarantee in this game to send it to double overtime. Iced the kicker. I didn't do it. Did he miss it? He shanked it. It's no good. And Utah. He shanked it. Oh my goodness, what a terrible kick. It was the screen. And they are going to talk about this for years to come because the Nebraska coaching staff called 3 consecutive screen plays in overtime. And the Utah Utes have scored 24 unanswered points. The shirts are off in section 200. And Utah has now tied the Yale Bulldogs. Utah has tied the 1987-89 and the 1887, 1889, and the 1890, 1893 Yale Bulldogs, who did it twice, 37 wins in a row. Utah has tied the Yale Bulldogs. We play an FCS team. I'm going to give them a real name. I haven't decided who it's going to be. Maybe Eastern Washington, because I like Eastern Washington. But if we beat an FCS team next week, that'll give us 38 wins. That'll pass the Yale Bulldogs. And then our next goal will be Washington and then Oklahoma. And what's a rather not so difficult conference schedule that we have ahead of us. We are Hall of Fame, yes, sir. The losing streak nearly came to an end. We knock off number 8. We avenge the neutral site game a couple of years ago in Denver. We take care of that, get the dub there, and we follow that up. Got revenge because the last team that beat Utah was Nebraska 36 games ago. Andrew Cross goes 23 of 47. Not a great day, but he willed his team on from Greenwood, Colorado, and got the job done. The big ups were the receiving game. Lewis Gardner, the junior, with a lot of the seniors leaving, he became part of the mix here. My goodness. So it took one overtime period. Should we read about the Yale Bulldogs? Princeton, let's see. Princeton was the only team to beat Yale. Yale started its football program in 1872. From 1872 to the end of the century, 28 seasons, Yale went 2, 26, 13, and 12. They only lost 13 games and 28 wins. 2 separate 38-game winning streaks with that loss to Princeton in the middle. Yale outscored opponents 330-6, including 9 shutouts. Undefeated Princeton won 6-0, and that was the one loss. Then we got Washington up next, followed by the Oklahoma Sooners of 1953 to 1957. However, we got the modern record because us passing Miami, who had 34 wins, that's the modern record. Sugar Bowl Larry Coker, 12-0. 10 straight wins after a Week 12 loss against Washington, and then 12-0. Jeremy Shockey, Frank Gore, Clinton Portis. All right, that is going to wrap this one up. My goodness. Overtime, Utah. If you want to see more, though, patreon.com/TB Sports. They didn't even call this a Game of the Year candidate? Come on. Like, this wasn't even... Oh, I didn't even save the replay. That was so... Whatever. It'll be in the archives for years to come. Man, we're going to go on Patreon. We're going to recap the first 2 weeks in college football. So if you want to be a part of that, patreon.com/TBSports27, including the 1 hour off season that we did for the Utah Utes to get all the conference realignment, all the big news. You don't want to miss that. Utah survives, somehow comes back, 37 wins in a row. Thanks for hanging out with us, SK Money. Appreciate you being here. That was a hell of a stream, and we're going to go a little bit longer. We'll put it up on Patreon. We'll see you guys over there. Up next, probably on Tuesday. Tuesday, I'm going to stream. We'll play FCS, Eastern Washington. We'll play them, and then that will be the final stream that we do for quite a while because I'm going out of town. And then, the streams, we'll probably won't be able to stream as much after that. Probably once a week, maybe a little less. I don't know. I don't know what life's going to be on the other end. SK Money says I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest. We got more coming up, but we're going to play Eastern Washington, FCS West on Tuesday, and that'll be our final stream for a while. So thanks for tuning in, but we're going to do a little bit more, throw it up on Patreon, and big business here. Let everyone know. Let SRQ Man know what you just saw here today. SK Money still has never seen a Utah loss go down. Woo! What a win. What a win. Patreon.com for bonus content coming up.